Peace, everybody. Peace. Oh, this beautiful day. I jumped on here to say peace to everybody. Peace and love, sending some positive vibrations. But quick message. Tell us we got to be careful of everything we do as Moors. That's why I tell people from the beginning that no one can nationalize you, no one can denationalize you. And anybody saying that they can do that, having notes to do things, saying they're gonna file you here and there and do all this stuff, and not telling you all truth and nothing but the truth. It's like a Masonic secret when they take you out in the middle of nowhere and then disappear. And it'd be all smoke and mirrors. It'd be all P.O. boxes. It is no hate to no one, man. I wait for my. Oh, y'all ready? Y'all fast, ma. Huh? Say y'all fast. Oh. But man, I told y'all all this stuff was gonna happen. I told y'all all this stuff was gonna happen. Because you can't do nothing illegal and pass it on for legal. And then you leave bread. It's like, what's the little story about? What's that little fairy tale about the little, what's her name? She left the breadcrumbs, Little Red Riding Hood, wasn't it?
What?
And she left the breadcrumbs and they went back and the breadcrumb was gone. Hansel and Gretel, yeah. Hansel and Gretel. So what I'm saying is, man, you cannot be mad when people leave evidence out here. When we say you can't nationalize or denationalize no one. About to drop my sister off at work. She's a massage therapist. I told y'all. No, I was talking to my people. I said, anytime you put things on the internet, it's gonna come back and bite you in the booty.
In the cojones.
If it's not lawful and truthful. And a lot of adults came in this more science thinking somebody can nationalize them. You want some piece of paper. I call them domestic terrorists. Talking about they finna expatriate, however you want to pronunciate it, from this de facto government, but not telling you the all truth about it. When you do that, then who you have alliance with when you do that.
If you want to be an expatriate, that means you got to leave the country.
Why you tell me why that happened? Just like my mom asked me, you said, did they get paid to do it? Yeah, people was paying people to nationalize them on the internet. Meeting people on the internet and saying they can nationalize. And I'm like, nationalize you to what?
You're already nationalized.
Like, how can somebody at home nationalize you?
Well, they got them a hammer.
And people be wanting an ID so bad. And I'm like, you want an ID? Be a Boy Scout. Be a girl. or be part of a real school like we are. But an ID doesn't mean anything. And all these people that was selling that stuff to people now is coming to the light and they mad and they butt hurt. Because people was going around talking about they nationalizing people under some Moorish American consulate, under some MAC number. And now people mad. And I'm like, you done left breadcrumbs out there for evidence. You cannot get mad. I know too many people that would sit there and be like, yes, these people did say they national line. I did pay for this so-called paperwork. And I tried to warn people years ago, but they wanted it so bad. Like that means something. Now they butthurt because they didn't want to learn first. And I said, once you learn, you'll understand the science and be like, oh, I see what this is all about. But we don't take the time to research anything. And none of this stuff is honorable. It was just a group of people with fezes on figured out a way to con people. And it's okay when groups have self-identify. I get all that because you have the right to self-identify as a tribe. And you got to be, in law, you got to be specific. You can't just make it up arbitrarily. So when you look at the laws, the religious rights of indigenous people, you got to be specific and see what it says about tribal leaders and things and real bodies and real schools, not make-believe. Like, to be honest with people, man, like, I'm through the temple, but I tell people my ID, you never see me on the internet or nowhere flashing no ID. My ID is for my salvation. And if I fail to obey that, then it's severe consequences. We for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these laws are violated, justice must then take its course.
That sounds like Superman.
Yeah. It says stop flashing your cars at Europeans. It caused confusion. And so I tell people, my ID for the temple, that's what it's for, the temple. My tax ID card for the temple is for the temple. My nationality ID card for the temple is strictly for that. It doesn't replace anything. And if you on that mission, then that's on you. I'm not promulgating that to my people. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'll tell nobody to do something that I wouldn't do. I'm not gonna do that. That's not my mission. But I told people it's gonna come back and bite them in their butt. And now people are gonna be trying to defend people for all the things that they done, saying that they can nationalize people, and people trying to pass those things on, meaning nothing. When it's a legal way to do things, because the laws clearly say what you can do, but you must understand the law. And that's just, it's very simple. You know, this stuff is very simple. That's why all that independent stuff and just wanting a piece of ID means nothing.
Nada.
And I told people, I said, it's going to come back and bite them. You left breadcrumbs. And now how are you going to defend yourself when so many people, it's like evidence. When a person say, oh, help me or defend me in my best interest, and I say, I need all the truth. Don't spring nothing on me when I'm trying to help you, because I'm going to give you precedent in law cases, doc numbers, and Free Information Act. But if you lying in a criminal, I'm going to drop you right in the middle of the sea. Because you're a liar. And so what I'm saying is, this stuff is coming back to bite people. Because there were certain individuals going around talking about they nationalizing people through some Moorish American consulate. And everybody know I'm telling the truth with that. And it's coming back and biting them in their ass.
Adios.
Bye, Isis.
Have a good one.
See you later.
Have
No.
a big tip day.
Y'all too. Have a nice trip.
I know I forgot my phone.
Got your phone.
Later.
All right. But I told y'all, what you say, that's why I honor you, because you tell the truth. I must. I don't care who like it. Even when I tell the truth, regardless if it fill up a room or clear it out. I'm with my family. I got my dad right next to me, my mom right here. I just dropped my sister off, my Empress, at work doing what she love. Man, please, I got a brotherhood that love me. We building, we producing our land. We steady producing literature. We all love each other, and our families is getting stronger. Our children is getting wiser. Man, all I'm here to do is for people to know my voice and see the vision and put the trust in and continue to help us build. No one can be mad at what I'm saying. The truth will make you free. If you're looking for righteousness, it's right in your face. When I say a person don't have to like my candor, you should want the truth. You should want me to Just the same way if I was teaching your kid, you would want me to be manufacturing and correct and teach them all the tools that we learn late, very early. You should want that. Because when them no disrespect to no one, when them Albions, when them Europeans, when them powers that be get on you, you're gonna be yes sir, yes master. I'm gonna prepare you not to even go through that. Why? Because we're gonna be a body and we're gonna be accountable and we're gonna be a unit. You see? When our children be under Islam, Brian, when our children be under a certain, how can I say it, auspices, like me and my dad always talk about, the 4th grade. We get our babies in the 4th grade. We don't let nobody get a hold of them. Because when they get your kid in the 4th grade, when they call the police on your child in elementary, they fingerprint them. Now they in the system. That's a tracker. I'm telling you what I know. I've been doing this for a long, long time. And how I know, because I've been through the fire. But what's happening right now, with all these Moors that was out here selling paperwork, they scared now. I told y'all. You can't run it high now. Like my mom said, that Hansel and Gretel, you can't go and try to pick them breadcrumbs up. Why? Because you put it out there. You went around saying that you some consulate, some Moorish American consulate selling ID. And people out there talk about they nationalizing people through some Moorish American consulate. If you go on all my videos, I've been warning people about this for years. Go on my own, look at my videos, what I say. No one can nationalize you, denationalize you. Only thing they can do is make you a Mason. And then they hold up the exhumed of the nation. You know they ain't read it because the exhumed of the nation will burn their hands off. Why? Because right in the introduction, the preface, it talks about this. I go over all the books for no one can be misunderstood. That's why I said a guide and a map. It's not just going to talk about a point. He or she is going to lead the way. Like Haile Selassie. He got off the throne and came, let's go to war. I prove all things and hold fast to what is good. You ain't got to like it. See? I've been saying this for years. For years. I said, how do you feel somebody can make you something that your mother created you? I can't resurrect you. All I can do is give you the wisdom. You did with your family. You annex your bed, your L. It's one nationality, many cultures.
We going to Fry's?
Where y'all want to go?
I thought you was going to the drugstore first.
We go to Fry's. Fry's out here. I'm not even get everything in Fry's.
We passed by Aldi's.
What y'all want to go
I
to?
brought the bags.
Oh, you want? I'll take you all these. Mine ain't nothing.
I mean,
man, I do. It's all good, man.
I thought
Where you want to go to
the
Aldi's?
drugstore first. I don't know.
Where you want to go? Here or Aldi's?
We here now. Shoot.
All right, well, tell me. It's all good.
Stay here. We here. Already.
I'm the driver.
I didn't know where you was going. I thought you was taking your dad to the drugstore.
I will. I'll do that too.
You got a prescription?
No.
Oh, well, they got a drugstore
Yeah,
here.
drugstore. I'm not being play. We get it here in Fry's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all off and I'm gonna park, okay?
All right.
But yeah, man, I told y'all. And
I
now
should have brought my phone, but I didn't.
your phone, neither one of y'all brought your phone?
Nope.
Me either.
But you're gonna park out here. We'll see you.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for y'all. My eye out. But yeah, man. All my brothers, any of my brotherhood, if my muftis on here, they'll tell you from day one. I think one of my muftis, Brian, on here, he'll tell you from day one. All I've been was honest and true with them. I never do nothing. I would never do nothing to them that I wouldn't do. I never had them doing nothing criminal from the day one, man. Y'all can imagine how many emails and calls I get of people talk about, can I nationalize them and just make them some ID? And then when people hit me back with like, man, you've been saying this forever. I said, all I can do is teach you the science. And this is before I had my school. I'm like, now, I was telling people I'm creating a school and I make it plain. I say I have school ID, just like any school can have an ID. Once you understand you are more, we have temple ID and your tribal ID. That's what it is, because you are more. And on there, it has a breakdown of your identification. What's your nationality? What's your race, your status? All that is on there. Where you from? All that is on there, because that's your right to self-proclaim. And when you self-proclaim, and you're part of my school, is the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. We set up legally and lawfully. Nothing that we do is illegal. We have a syllabus. an enrollment package. That's why when I travel, when I go all over, I operate as a scholar and a sheik. When I go to California, when I go to Vegas, when I travel back home to Michigan, man, that's who I am. When I go to the schools and everything, I go in the hardest hit fund. That's how I teach. When I go into prisons, I do this in real life. Like, nothing that I do is fake. Even before, like I tell Moors, I say, what were y'all doing before this Moor science? Because I was doing this before videos. Before videos, man, a person can see me, man. I was part of the West Valley Health Summit out here helping women in shelters, helping single children. My real profession in real life is working with autistic kids. That's what I do in real life. I have clients. I do that in real life. I done helped so many kids go to school, me and my father and my mother, under our own organization. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I done so many eulogies and all that for my city. Even losing my own brother. Come on, man. I don't do this, none of this stuff for play or likes or pretend. I do this because this is my life. That's why I say the only way out the fire is you had to go through it. And that's a true statement. So how can somebody speak on something and teach on something and they in unfamiliar territories? Come on, man. This is simple. None of this science, none of this more science is criminal. Man, the truth, we must speak the truth, man. I'm not on nobody's side. That's why you'll never see me with no pictures of nobody. Ask my nobles, what do I tell them? I be in Vegas so much, more see me walk past, they be taking their fez off. And then they hit me on Instagram like, hey, were you in Vegas? I'm like, man, you saw me, you walk right past me. Why you take your fez off? Because you wanted one of those on the internet promulgating, you nationalizing people. That's why. You can't be mad. And we think this paradigm is just a whole bunch of people begging. I mean, that's not this paradigm. It's only one more science. It's only one temple. Yes, you have the right to self-identify. Yes, if you embody a group of people, yes, you have the right to do certain things, but not in the fashion that we passing things on as legit, and it's not all the way legit. That's what I'm saying. Because no one can nationalize you or denationalize you. That's right in the preface of the Exhumed of the Nation. If you don't have the Exhumed of the Nation, we have it available for you on mypdfbooks.com, books with a Z. On Amazon, it's $2.50. I got it cheaper, PDF. I'm going to continue to convert books to PDF. I don't give a damn who like it. My elders continue to give me books. Hell, I'll get it. And if it get to a certain point, I'll start giving shit away for free or for a damn dollar. If everybody was on it was like they want literature, man, I'll give it away for free for $1. Come on, man, please. This is what I'm saying we're supposed to be doing. And you can't be mad at a person telling the truth. Man, Empress Cynthia, you know what? To be honest, I've done so many lectures at colleges. And when I used to go to Vegas a lot, and I remember my son before he became the Denver Nuggets youth director, Keon Ackright. That's my son. He stayed in California, man, and I didn't even know it was an elementary school right on the corner I was going to speak at, and I done walked to the store, right? So at the corner, it's the little donut shop, the Holy Moly. I said Holy Moly donut shop. But at the corner, it's a donut shop where that was on Friday. But across the street, it was the old, I think, Laker Stadium. Well, make a long story short, you know, I got my regalia on, and I'm walking, right? So I go in the store immediately. The misnomer Arabs like, sir, do you know where you at? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you a sheik? I'm like, why you say that? They was like, I know you a sheik. And I'm like, okay. They literally walked me back to the school. The people out the store came out the store. The misnomer Arabs walked me out the store, gave me all honor, praise, gave me the card, everything. Was like, sir, you can't walk here. He was like, probably people didn't do nothing or say nothing to you because they looking at, they seeing like he different. Gave me love and everything. You know, we talked about some things. You know, I enlightened them because a lot of us Moors don't know how to interpret Arabic when they be saying Habibi and Abibi. One mean black slave, other mean endearment or coming from love. But I'm just saying, I'll be all over. Ask my nobles, I'll be all over on my own dime. I don't be making no videos telling nobody to sponsor me. I just ask for small donations for the time I put in. And if you give a donation, I'll give you literature, something that you would pay for, something that you would pay more money for the donation that I asked for suggestively. You would be able to get that literature, go right on Amazon and be like, damn, he gave me that literature for $20 on Amazon, this shit, $100. Yeah, that's what I be telling my people. When I go on a college campus, it be packed. When I do lectures, it be packed. Every Wednesday, it'd be so many books given away because those are students. That's what they into. And us as Moors, we should be in that too and support this Moors business and support the science and come to class. For we won't be confused. Man, even when I tell people, man, when I was dealing with these Moors from the temple and all that, I had to go and get my paperwork and all that. Not to saying the paperwork is right, but the body wasn't right. Them brothers was doing fake taxes and all that. I ain't got to say their names, but that's why they ain't going to come to me because I know the real. You know, the science is right. The booklet, the consulate booklet is right. But them Negroes that were doing all them fake taxes and all that stuff, they ain't right. You can't denounce the science. You can't denounce what the prophet doing because it can be looked up. Just like when people be saying the 1010 number was some trust fund at the end of the rainbow, that's a freaking lie. I destroy it with truth. I don't care if nobody like it. I got the paperwork from the CCRD telling you that it ain't nothing but an affidavit from truth, telling you I read it. It's free information. Just like if you want to get your records from college, you can get an official or an unofficial with the seal, depending on how much you want to pay or depending on how much they charge you. These is facts. I don't care if no one mad. I can care less. And then when people is not telling the truth about everything, when they getting so caught up with this AA22 number, what the 140, whatever the number is, I don't know it all the way to heart because I'm misquoting it because I was showing people, I'm like, man, look, a lot of stuff people don't know, understand all the way because they not illuminated to it all. So a person can hand you something and you would be excited because you've been hurt for so long and you think a piece of paper gonna make you free. Not understanding and not sitting down as an adapt thought process with a team and dissecting it, breaking it all the way down to its molecules, seeing it all the way and be like, okay, I see clearly. You should want to see clearly. You should want to sign no paperwork under no true understanding. Want somebody else have thinking is going to make you free. That's not the mission. It's only one temple. It's only one prophet. We must tell the all truth. And if a person don't like my candor, that ain't my issue. I don't come from no religious perspective when I teach this science. I don't gravitate to no one religion. I tell people, man, it was sheiks before our prophet. I love what our prophet did with the temple, but I mean, it was sheiks before our prophet. I know many sheiks in history. I love what our prophet Noble Drew done for the temple, but I don't pray to no man. It's the science. The science is older. It never was a time when man was not. So that means the science is old. And you can go all through history, through the sages. And that's why I said, and synchronize these teachings from all perspectives. If your eye is open. That's why I say this Islam is peace. And you have to understand all holy books. There's no way you can be a dap and a sheikh and you don't understand and study and give honors to all holy books. There's no way you can just read some Moorish Quran and it's just a compilation of a few pages of holy books. You must deal with the main source anytime, for you can be matter-factual and you can see clearly and you remove the veil of dogma, especially when people be quoting things. I love all our old teachers, man, but I'm in the flesh. I can show you in things when people quote, be like, okay, I hear you and I understand that mythology of it, but it's all fake. It's no hate. It's no slander. When the well dries up, man, you can't get me caught up with spookism because I can hear all the majesty, all the mystic, but I can say the breadcrumbs will dry up. Because if you say all this fake, and if you say these people fake, Flavius Josephus, which we prove in scholarship and academia, I'm talking about the history of religion, that's all fake. And then you start looking at the names and adding the names up, it'd be the same people and just changing their names. And then you start cross-referencing over and over and they're changing things. They be the authors of all this book, all those books. I told you all about a pseudonym or a pen name. That's why I said it's deeper than that. I don't get caught up in no mystic and no mysticism. I deal with the truth of the matter. And that's all. So I understand the mystic aspect. I understand the historical aspect. I understand the metaphysical aspect. Just like when I talk about the Kabbalah and the Zohar and the Sefer, and like it's so much of this science and the Vedas that's synonymous. And when you understand that, you understand what I'm saying. A lot of this stuff, man, that no God man was doing, telling people to do this and sign this and do this and do that and go here and do that and do that. Why would I have people all engulfed in that? And then why would I slander all the temples? If not, that's why I tell people, they say all the temples are infiltrated. So what temple? Talk about the temples that's infiltrated that you've been to. Talk about the temple because I tell you about the temple in my city of Flint, Michigan. Hey, I told you I'm transparent. The pendulum swing both ways with me. I told you them Negroes' doors be closed. I told you as soon as it go up for foreclosure, I'm buying it. It's supposed to be a stable in the community. The Moorish Science Temple in our neighborhood, y'all see me, I took pictures in front of our temple. The temple is old, the science is old. That's why I tell people you cannot diss the science and you cannot diss true sheiks from the temple, like myself and others that go through the temple. That's why I don't bash it. What I've done, I stepped out of that dogma because it is dogma and created a school for Moors. I'm gonna teach you the all truth and nothing but the truth. Because you are Moor, you must proclaim, declare, and have due process. I teach you about annexing your Bay and your L. I teach you everything, and I challenge everyone. I give you the science. We have a library. I teach it. We go over all the books. It's a lot of books that go with the Moorish Quran. Moors talk about they dealing with civics, and I'm like, how can you be dealing with civics and you haven't dealt with the divine? Moors be want something. And I'm like, that's some slave stuff. The divine comes first to free your mind. You free your mind first. You free your mind first. And we don't diss nothing. It's an understanding. Like I tell people, I don't give a damn if you do 5 salats a day, 3. I know what I do. I know I'm not orthodox. I know I'm a Moor, but I don't disrespect nothing. If your heart is pure, it's all good. But I'm not going to let nobody pass their religion on to me, something that they don't know, something that's a belief system and something that's tradition. And when it comes down to the history of it, because I study all holy books and I come from truth. I understand your religion. I understand that blind faith, but I'm not going to debate no one with that. If you believe in a rock and you cool, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm telling you who I am. I understand it, but I don't believe in nothing outside of myself. We can deal with all the books. We can deal with the hadith, which a lot of Islam brothers haven't read, when it talks about all Muhammad slaves and all these things and all these so-called celebrations when they was going to get the slaves in Africa. We can talk about the Arab slave trade that's continuing to go on right now today. It's no disrespect to anyone. It's no disrespect to anyone. I don't get all into semantics, Muslim, because that's dealing with semantics. If you in a higher self, you know what a Muslim is. That's what the feds represent. That's what the feds represent. That birth cycle, I mean, it's the way to explain it, but I'm not going to get into an argument with a brother saying, well, Muslim and this. I ain't got time for that, man. No semantics, no, that is asinine. I know what Sufi is. I know what the science is. I know what Zoroastrianism is. That's why I asked Moors, have they read other literature instead of the Quran? Because the Quran, the Moorish Quran is a compilation. And if you haven't read the Unto Thee I Grant, I hope you get it from us. And if you don't understand it, come to class and I'll break it down in layman terms so you can see clearly. You can see clearly what people is passing things on, and it's not valid. They say you got people arguing over this about Noble Drew Ali and this. Man, don't nobody care about that. You should be honorable. You should be doing nothing to get nobody in trouble. Period. If you a sheik and that means you have the grand sheik or whatever, or a school, that means you have a school and a body. And you ain't promulgating like the sheik of this. Like, I'm not going around saying I'm the sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America. My paperwork is through the temple. I'm licensed to do this. I'm a scholar in real life, an educator in real life. I'm the sheik of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. I'm a Bey. When you really research what Bey consists of, you will see. That's a leader or a guide of a group of brothers and sisters, a tribal leader. That's what I am with my brothers and sisters. And I'm a true educator. And I'm through the temple. Like that means something, but, and I'm through the temple. And I teach the truth. And I teach the truth. And I stand on it. And that's what I tell people. Why would you want some ID from somebody you met? Why would you want somebody to sell you some ID from somewhere? Why? If you want some ID from the temple, just seek out a temple and go get your paperwork, all the rhetoric. Be like, well, ask questions. Don't just be somebody that wants some paper. And that's what I be telling people. When people be wanting some paper, that's how they get caught up. They be wanting a piece of paper. And I'm like, where you get that from? Somebody on the internet. Or you got this travel ID from all this or some, and I'm like, dude, I'm not finna argue with nobody. If you think that's fine for you, so what? So be it. But our prophet said we can self-identify. Okay, true. Okay, fine. But your ID, this ID is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. Stop flashing your ID at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your ID is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. What's the severe consequences? Now you got to defend yourself because you was mixing truth and falsehood. That's why when we say that, you got to be able to see, somebody got to be honest with you and see, because if it was all lies, a person wouldn't get caught up in it. It's truth and falsehood. And then when it's time to defend yourself, it's, I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell you what I know. And now people is getting mad saying that they didn't sell this and all that. And I'm like, okay. You're going to start having people hitting you up, and all these people that done bought that stuff from that person under that so-called Moorish American consulate with the bald head, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They ass is going to be in trouble. I told y'all. Man, I said, man, and if you want that, you got to ask yourself, are you part of something really, or is it just some ID that you pay for? You got to start being honest with yourself. And do you know anything? And then when you say you part of a tribe have tribal classes and things. Where you having class at? Where you learning at? Who's the tribal leader? What's going on? I don't be understanding what adults be wanting, man. Like, this not play game, man. This is not anything fake to be making videos and a whole bunch of people saying, well, this not true. This not the time for that. This not the time for that, man. Everybody talking about the revealing and the truth, all that. Well, it's happening. I told people, you make videos and then try to act like you didn't say that, and people have held them videos and they putting it back out there, and they putting it out there like, so you saying you guys weren't selling some talking about ID packages? I told you. And then at the same breath, I bet you they ID is from the temple, because there's only one temple. And that's just facts. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if it's in Chicago, Detroit, Miami. If it's the Moorish Science Temple of America, then it's going to be certain things in line, unless the people that's made up as they go. So you can't bash the teachings and the science, because I tell people, I don't know why they mad at Noble Drew Ali. They'll make this up, and all Europeans that give praises and honor to Noble Drew Ali, Adam Blavatsky, all those people, man, they give credit to Noble Drew Ali. Peter Lambert Wilson, aka Hakeem Bey, that wrote all the Moorish Paradigm Journals. That's a European. The one Hakeem Bey that wrote all the Moorish Paradigm Journals. Don't mean to bust your bubble, but that's a European. Any more lying, I destroy that in 1.2 seconds. Hakeem Bey is aka Peter Lambert Wilson, the one that wrote Sacred Drift. Sacred Drift. Got the prophet right on the front like this. Come on, man. Peter Moon, Spandu Mysteries. Man, all these people wrote about our prophet. Man, I correct teachers when people say, oh, Noah Drawley was dealing with young babes. I said, man, you don't even know law. Look up the common law in that time period. Ooh, bust a bubble. And then I say, go ask your mama, how old was your grandma when she married your granddad? Oh, they be butthurt. They come back, they were like, oh, Sheik, you know, you was right. I know. My grandma was only, Big Mom was only 13. Yeah, I know. I know. So don't come with no slander, with no hate of things we don't know. You know, and a lot of people come to this to argue and be mad about who's first. Who gives a shit who's first, man? You know, at the end of the day, these people be having children and things. I'm like, y'all don't live a real life. Come on, Moors. It's bigger than that debate. And it's bigger than who right. It's bigger than some name or what's the original name of Africa. Man, whatever the language you speak. Whatever your dialect is, that's the name of it to you. Is it Akibalani? If it's Africa, if it's Afri, whatever the hell, is it Ortega? Whatever the hell you, what? Come on, man. Now what we gonna do? Now we talk about the education. We talk about our kids being miseducated. We're talking about our babies thinking they're ugly and being Negro and all coming from some damn slavery. Where all the babies at and all these Moors that got children? Why they not displaying them when they going to school doing so-called Black history and what they writing about? Why we don't see their children with their honor or they fez and turbans on as they making all these videos? Somebody explain this to me. Because I'm not here to debate no one, especially a person that's illiterate. Islam. I'm not here to debate no one. I done did this in academia with professors and made them sit on their hand from scholarship and from love. I love the study. I love to interpret language. I stay in proper context. I understand denotation, connotation. I understand linguistics. I understand this, man. I don't get into no mysticism. It's nothing a secret with me. It's sacred. And the only way you can learn from me is to be a student. Peace and love from Trinidad and Tobago in the West Indies. Peace and love. Peace and love. I give all high honors. I give all high honors and all vibrations to all the brothers and sisters, all the tasawwufs, all the science that you under, all my medicine men, all the science, all my Zulu that's under Credo Matua, all the science. I give praise to all the prophets in the flesh, man. That's what I tell people. I'm just talking to like this. It's a real life I do. It's certain things we got to do. Like I say, man, when I say a tasawwuf, a medicine man, a magi, this is not a game. It's certain things we don't see for eye. And when I tell people, people be like, well, can you read my astrology? I said, the science, I heal myself first. I show you how to heal you. I show you how to heal you. That's what a map and a guide does. That's what a teacher does. I don't just want to take you all the way there. I want to show you the way. I want you to be manufactured. So when you go out, promulgate something, you see clear. And not only when you help yourself, you can help those around you. That's the mission. That's the mission. That's what I promulgate. I don't teach hate. I let you know who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be able to go in all religious houses. I'm proud to deal with my Abyssinian people, with my so-called people that under the Egyptologists. I don't even know what Egyptology is, but that's a whole nother story. With my Al-Islam brothers, with my so-called Jewish brothers, in all different dialects. With my so-called brothers that's blind, that's Masons, that when I'm trying to resurrect them and give those things back that was theirs and resurrect themselves up with their true teachings. That's my mission. Because if it was law wrong, then everything we saying is wrong. You can take things for good and make them bad. That's easy. Come on, that's tricknology. That's reverse symbolism. Come on. Hitler did it with the so-called swastika, and that ain't even a swastika. So we got to understand things. When I talk about 360 degrees of wisdom, that's all that is. Signs and symbols. When I talk about 9 to the 9th power of 9, when I talk about supreme Hika, aka supreme mathematics, what am I talking about? When I talk about supreme Hika, supreme mathematics, you should ask someone. All these signs and symbols, the Eye of Horus, all this stuff, so-called, you think that's 9. I break this factor down. I break this mathematical equation down. This life is a mathematical equation. No one can be mad at what I'm saying. The circle and the square both have 360 degrees of wisdom. just different parameters. I could put the circle and the square and a so-called swastika in it and make that bad boy, it synchronizes. Like, you got to understand. So when a person talk about, oh, they under supreme mathematics, I ain't talking about breaking A, Z down in this and breaking it what it mean. And then the 1, 2, 3 to all that, the cipher to 0. I get that. I'm talking about using that supreme mathematics. What this Hika mean, what these signs and symbols mean before all this lettering. What do we have? Signs and symbols. Supreme mathematics. Hika, everything you see, when you be seeing the hand up, when you be seeing that like that, just like on the so-called Baphomet, just like on C. Freeman L, man, I show y'all, man, I teach it. Just like it's a cold volta, above and below, man, all this stuff is supreme. This is science. I'm gonna break it down again. This is what say you, this is what, man, hey, man, it ain't about what's done in the light. I promise you, it's not what's done in the light. When we talk about your science, your voodoo, when it says go into your spiritual closet, when something that you should do over and over all the time. I got to make sure I see my mom now. Because they in there getting stuff. You know, no one can be mad, man. I can go and teach the science from love and don't talk and spill no hate out. But when people going around promulgating, talk about they trying to make you something, yes, it's a few making the science look bad. No matter how young or how old you are, this science is not about getting nobody giving you no ID. ID, schmid, who cares? You should want to be a part of something that's real. And when you will understand exactly who you are from birth. Before the Moorish Science Temple of America, man, you had Deuce Muhammad Ali. Don't you know Marcus Garvey was a journalist in his paper? And you have Abdul Hamid Solomon. Research these figures. And then even before then, I can show you Sufis and sheiks. I show y'all in all the different sheiks. When y'all look at my book, Sheikh Abamu, damn, I'm forgetting one of the elders' name is misquoting it. He gonna kill me. But it'll come back to me as I'm teaching. But I shared a lot of it with Moors before. Just like when I talk about Credo Matua. I'm like, come on, man. How are we gonna talk about God we never seen, but hey, man, that represents that in the flesh. And that's that vessel. And we do that to each other every day. Give credit to all this dead stuff, but we got all this resurrection in the flesh. It's just like you have good athletes for every dispensation, you have a prophet for every different dispensation. What's a prophet and an angel? Clothed in the flesh, to give a divine message and to give a warning to ones that's blind. No one can say I lead them in to burn the house. None of my brothers and sisters I've been on the auspices from Allah to guide my brothers. They've been with me for 3 years. No one can say that I led them to anything wrong. What I do is I use the science to correct, and I deal with the heart. I don't give a damn how smart you are. That means nothing to me. What I show you is how to use the tools that you have. That's what a good foreman is. That's what a good seer is. That's what a good guide is. If I got a group of brothers and sisters, and I'm gonna use the analogy and say if we building a house, and you know it take all these manifestations to build this structure, nails, bricks, whatever you're doing, metal, electric wires, you need all those factors. So to be a good a foreman or a guide, you got to understand your brother's skills. And I don't like to say limits, but you got to understand their skills, and you put them in a position for they can win. And then they understand that I never put nobody in a position where the skill that I'm putting them over is over their aptitude. This is what I'm saying. So, and this is why a lot of people get tricked. And that's why a lot of people get tricked, man. And they be butthurt and they be mad. I say, all you got to do is come learn the science. And I guarantee you, especially if you have children that's going to school, it's okay to go to school to get your 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. But then after that, they should be going to their studies just like Jewish school. Just like so when history come, they can know their history, they can know finances, because we teach our babies all about this religion and arguing over religion, but they don't know anything about finances. And I teach it. I teach these, that's like I teach parents when their kids graduate in high school, they can have at least 100,000. What family you know when their kid graduate out of high school, they can have 100 grand? It's easy. But I come from love, man, and all I'll be trying to tell more is this, man, you can't be mad now. You know, Moors, no one can be mad. You know, at when people be saying they didn't know, because you know, like I always say, in a court of law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law. You can't use brainwashing like they did in the military. And that's what I tell people, man. You can't pass, like, it's fraud, and just like copyright, when you're trying to pass something on, that's your own or original thought. And so what you're doing in that process, if you know it or not, you can still be found guilty for fraudulent behaviors. Especially you knowing it's I'm telling you, hey, that's why people disappear. And only what I'm talking about is what people send me. And I tell people to be careful. I tell people a lot of times some people talk over people's heads. And I say, after you get filled with all that stuff, what can you do with it? And a lot of that stuff, you can do nothing with it. It's just like you're going to learn how to build the airplane, and you never have intentions on building the airplane. It's like you're going to list. It's like it's like you getting your consumer bill, and somebody like that dude on The Living Color that was in jail, that was just using all big words, trying to explain your consumer bill to you, but really saying nothing. And then if they are saying anything, all you got to do is ask them, all the stuff that you telling me to do, let me see you. Let me just show me you doing it. Show me you doing all this stuff. Show me. Just like when they wanted to say Thomas was doubting. Thomas wasn't doubting in the biblical scriptures. If we're going to use an analogy, Thomas said, you say you doing all this and you can do this? Show me. You say you say this attached to all this? Well, why you don't have nothing? You say you got all this. You say mine is attached to all this work. Isn't yours? You say I can get all this and all this. Well, why you don't have it already? You say I'm rich and all this and this. Why you don't have it? You say all this is my land and this and that. Where your land at? And you got to be clear with this stuff when people be talking this stuff. That's all I be saying. When people be talking all this stuff like, this is yours, this is yours, where is theirs? That's no hate. Somebody, huh? Right? If somebody, come on, if I'm saying this is yours, then you can get all this, and you can get all this. The next question I'm gonna say, if I can get all this, well, let me see what you got. You say I can get all this and that and the other. Where's yours? And what you got invested in it? You know, and that's what I tell people when people be talking about investing in things. And I'll be like, well, what you got invested in it? They don't be having nothing invested in nothing. So how I'm gonna get something that you don't have? Don't be mad at me. How I'm gonna get something that you don't have? Can somebody explain that? I'm just vibing with the people. I'm waiting for my parents. How can you get me something that you don't have? How can you make me rich and you not rich? I mean, it'd be all smoke and mirrors. Look at every more now. They fixing your credit and they doing all this stuff. That's all Moore's doing. That's all Moore's doing. Right? And it ain't no disrespect. Oh, I see it. That's all I see Moore's doing, man. And it ain't no hate. I mean, when people send me things, I say I have to, talk about what people send me sometimes. And I'm like, I know this not happening. They like, yes, it is. And I'm like, no, it ain't. And then when I see it, I'm like, I didn't know. And so I'll be like, man, I hope no one is doing that. And then when you start talking to people, and when people be hitting you up on Instagram Moors, it be hurt. It hurt. And I'm like, man, why did you let somebody? I'm sorry, y'all. I was cleaning something. I didn't want y'all to see me cleaning. That's why I turned the camera. I'm like, why would you let somebody that you met on the internet tell you that they can do this and have you pay for all this for you and your kids, and then think that's gonna replace something? You can't get mad if it don't work. If it worked for them, then I'm not here to dispute that. I'm not here. Listen, like I tell people, but they got to be honest. If that stuff worked for you, you went somewhere and you went and boarded some plane with something that somebody gave you, then that should tell you about the system in general. Just like when, listen, man, I'm gonna give y'all a real scenario and look it up. Y'all know the rapper Mos Def, Hakeem Bey, right? So he went out of the States with I think he had a world passport, if I'm not mistaken. I might be, let me double check on it, because I was talking with a brother on it and I had to find the document. So I think it was one of them passports, a world passport. Don't quote me on it. If I'm right, then I'm right. But anyway, he was having problems getting back. And so if somebody can, you met on the internet, no disrespect again, can make you a passport and put all this stuff in there and say this and that and the other, and you can go to the airport and get out of the country with that, and not only get out and come back, Islam to you. But what did that tell you about the system? If that's really true, if that's really valid, if you're not doing things to fake people, what that tell you about the system? If you can use that and get out of here. And that's why I tell people, be very, 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 very careful of people that's taking pictures at airports. It's easy to go to the airport and then pull something out of my pocket and hold it up like I travel with that and then do nothing. That's what we call in the court of law fraudulent concealment. When you not revealing all the truths. I'm telling you, man, I do this stuff. It's just like, I ain't gonna tell you all the right law. It's like a tort law when somebody is telling on you. You got the right to face your accuser. See, I can go all the way across the board with the science. And it's like I'm talking about people that be snitching, informants. So, you can't be mad at me. That's why I said, man, you got to be clean across the board when you leading people. I done been through the fire already. That's why I tell people, why do you want to get to a certain age, become an elder to lead people in fire? That stuff should have been out your system when you was young and dumb and full of you know what. When we say we was having our youthful discretion. You see what I'm saying? These people is older than me, and I'm 45. And so we talk about a group of people that done came together to not try to, it's just like drug dealers. They sit and sell the dope in their neighborhood, don't take it out. It's the same thing these brothers doing. They pollute, they selling the dope right in their neighborhood. Because it's like I tell these Moors, even with this business stuff that they be saying, if it was true business and you truly successful like that in Bitcoin or any investment, you don't have to be trying to promulgate something to a whole bunch of people that never invested. You could be dealing with people that invest and be successful instead of saying begging. You should be showing, you should have plenty success stories from a plethora of people if it's real. Not just some stuff on the internet where you can pay for, man, listen, man, you can pay for what I call it, good gestures for your business. Just like when I work for the colleges, how we pay for addresses and things and we call people, it's the same way. It's the same way these people be on these meme pages. All them testimonies, they be paying for that shit. I'm telling you, I know the site. I'm telling you, man, that's why I be like, man, I can show you how deep your own people will go so far to con you and make you believe is something. And then get mad when the evidence be there, because the evidence be there forever, especially when you put stuff on the internet, and especially when you have paperwork and a paper trail. When you signing things telling people this day you nationalize them, you cannot be mad. You cannot be mad, even just like I tell people, yes, these brothers is debating they wrong. I get that. And yes, some people might be confused on some of the science. But if you confuse in your heart right, then you should be staying corrected. But then on one level, man, if somebody was going around saying they can nationalize people and it was a group of brothers doing that, yeah, they are wrong. And if it's proof of that, people doing that and people coming out saying, yeah, there's people nationalizing me and promulgating, yeah, they wrong. And it's a body of people who was going around and the publication going around nationalizing people with, yeah, they wrong. So nobody can be mad at that. Nobody can be mad at that. I told y'all people found an opportunity. And when people find an opportunity, most people be opportunists if your heart is not pure. They'll take advantage of their own mama. I'm telling y'all, so you can't be mad at what I'm saying. This is true. People saw opportunity because they saw people were so caught up with some ID. They were so caught up in some pushing some paper terrorists and some domestic terrorists. And I taught y'all that Moors are confused in navigation. I did a whole lecture on it. Go back on my YouTube page and see Moors are confused on navigating and see if anything I'm saying wrong. Everything I'm saying is 100% factual. You can't be mad at what I'm saying. You cannot be mad at what I'm saying. So if some people was promulgating something now, you got people trying to defend people and saying that what they didn't do, and people coming out saying, well, here go the proof, here go the paperwork from this person, this sign. I got pictures with the person, we smiling when I'm doing my so-called paperwork. You can't get mad at nobody for that. And I tried to warn Moors years ago, stop thinking somebody is gonna nationalize you. Stop thinking somebody can make you something that you already are. When we talk about resurrection, I make things clear, just like the prophet made it clear what the Moorish Science Temple of America was, and all your ID and your paperwork, what it was for. Clearly, it was for the Moorish Science Temple of America and your salvation, period. It didn't replace anything. And if anybody telling you anything else like that, they full of stuff. Do you think Noah Driley was making videos about telling you how to drive without license? Yes or no? And see, this is what I tell people. Do you think anybody with Noble Drill like was telling any adults, okay, well, turn in your license to the state? Do you think that? Do you think if you got, show me any pictures of that? Show me any pictures of them riding around with some Moorish American plates. Show me. Show me. And then I say, okay, so you willingly go into a burning house. And that's when people talk about they demonstrating. That's not no demonstration. That's a misunderstanding. That's causing confusion. And like I tell people, when a person say, well, did they break any laws? Yeah, what? Being stupid. That's what I tell people. Do you know how many people locked up for being stupid? For opening their mouth? I tell you, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. I do these case studies all day and show people how they get locked up by thinking they so smart. Are you gonna go down there willingly and say something? Where you coming from? Well, I'm coming from McDonald's. Well, McDonald's closed. Boom, okay, well, I'm coming from here. Oh, so now I got you on record as a liar. Your Honor, this brother is a liar. He told us he was coming from McDonald's and McDonald's closed. Now you on the record as a liar. Now you backtracking. Got you. I'm telling you, man. This stuff is too simple. People be way over their pay grade when they be trying to lead people. And then when I come with laws and restrictions and I show you that you can't arbitrarily explain the law, and some law in Hawaii that you're talking about does not cross all the way over to no damn Texas. They just be spewing shit out the mouth. I'm like, slow down, man. This has nothing to do with this. And you out of jurisdiction. That's why they can't come to me with that bullshit, man. Period. You got to tell truth and all truth and nothing but the truth. And you can't arbitrarily explain the law. You cannot. I don't care how passionate you are. I don't care how many damn Black Law dictionaries you come with, especially that cheap ass 4th edition. That 4th edition Black Law dictionary is poo diddly. You don't have the 1st edition. You don't have nothing that's valid. And forget all those, because those ain't nothing but terms any damn way. Talking about constitutional law, man. I know there's no damn terms. So that's what I'm here. I'm just here building, man, waiting for my parents. But that's just the truth of the matter today. And nobody can be mad. I told people this a long time ago. Even when I was in the temples, I'm like, oh, these Negroes ain't right. My dad would tell you. And then when I had my temple out here in Arizona, I kicked Moors out of the temple and shut it down. Why? Because they was preaching bullshit. I said, I ain't finna be a part of this. This is my building. Ask my parents. These Negroes in there, cut your phones off, hide your phone. Cut clothing all the mirrors. I park down there, we can walk down. Okay. You need your jacket, do you? I always tell you, get a jacket, Dad. My dad think he cool. He don't have no jacket on. It's chilly out here in AZ. But like I was telling y'all, man, when I had my temple out here, my dad will tell you, I had to kick them brothers out. All that dishonesty and hiding and like you some secret agent. They wives didn't want to come because they were spewing all this garbage. One of the grown man got locked. Here it is. This man got kids. He get locked up. Talk about he got locked up. Talk about he filing people paperwork. I'm like, what you mean? Telling people to write some provost marshal. I said, oh, y'all getting ready to go to jail. All y'all have people writing the provost marshal. I'm like, writing the provost, talk about we under different laws. I said, you write the provost marshal, nigga. Excuse my candor. Talk about write some provost marshal. And then these niggeros getting audited. And I said, don't you know in your area it's a right to work state? People was getting walked out their job, listening to the clowns. We put in the back seat there?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Huh?
You still fit in the back seat?
We can put it on the floor. I'm finna get out of here, man. I gotta help my parents, man. Hold on, let me sit this right here. You wanna sit in the back here?
No, there ain't gonna be enough room back there.
Huh? I mean, we got more than one spot. We got more than one spot out here. We can put some back there and back seat. Yep. Back here. Won't hurt nothing. Bam, y'all. Well, yeah, man. I got it, Dad. I'll take it. Oh, shit, where I go? But yeah, man. It's right here. That's my life. I'm with my parents chilling. I told y'all, man. All you gotta do is examine a man's life to see what he's about. I don't have nothing to hide. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna teach some history today later on, so keep your notifications on, man, and I'll see y'all later.
I thought you
Peace.
already was teaching history.
Let's start with paper lottery.